After the ball is over, after the skein is done, after the die lot's finished, and you are short just one, many a knitter has made a tearful and desperate call, pleading with their local yarn shop, go after that ball.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 606. Today is it's not Tuesday, it's Thursday, June 27th, 2024. As we are recording, yes, we are a little bit late this week, and we will explain about that later. I am Arlisha, also known as Lady Fernico.
I'm Talia, also known as Franciscan Gypsy.
I want to welcome all new and returning viewers to the Fun in the Woman Cave. If you're new, we're glad that you have found us, and we hope you find something you enjoy and you will stay with us. If you are returning, we're always glad to have you back. If you are new or returning, but in the shadows, just kind of hovering around, you can keep doing that if you want to, but we'd love to have you official. If you want to become official, just tap the little subscribe button somewhere underneath the video.
Just ignore me while she's talking. I'm just making it so that way the this battery doesn't last very long. There we go. Sorry about that.
Somewhere under the video, you just tap that little subscribe button and the little bell that will allow you to get notifications, and you can customize your notifications to get all of them or some of them or none of them. And then you'll be official, and then you can join the PHN home group, which is where all the alongs and giveaways and things like that take place. But you have to be a member of that group to be able to do that, and that's at PHNpodcast.freeforums.net, and that's also in the little description box below the video. We have a whole bunch of little things in the description box below the video. You might want to check that out. Okay, I think we are even on projects today.
Yes, we are.
Okay. I am having a salted caramel chocolate or chocolate salted caramel. No, salted caramel chocolate.
And when you're done with your spoon, you just turn mine.
Yes, and I'm having a little bit of sugar and a little bit of what do you call it? Non-dairy almond creamer. It's not milk; it's creamer.
And I have. Well, did you want to show your mug while I'm stirring mine?
This is one of my favorite mugs. It's my little owl and all the forest creatures mugs. There's my owl right there.
The whole point of the mug for her.
Absolutely. Owl. And all the little forest creatures.
And I have...
What am I contaminating my tea with?
That's Irish Stout.
Oh, okay.
So just chocolate. And you like the way I make my Irish Stout.
Yes.
So, here's my Irish Stout. I usually pick up a lot of it at one time because you can only get it in March.
Yeah.
I think you might have a couple months. You can get March and April, maybe.
Kind of like we do with Brigadoon. You can only get Brigadoon every 4 years.
Yeah.
On Leap Day.
And we have Brigadoon. We have quite a bit of it.
Because you picked up 2 and I picked up 1.
Yeah. So.
Do you pick up just 2 or 3?
I might have 3.
Yeah.
And most of it will probably be yours. But. So I have my Irish Stout in here and my Keep Calm and Use Your Little Grey Cells, Mon Ami. I managed to spill some of it, but thankfully I had filled it up high enough that I still have a decent amount in there.
Right. Yeah, you just have a good.
As long as I take to drink tea, it'll probably last me a day, maybe a couple days.
Right.
Because I take forever to drink tea.
Do you want to do the housekeeping part that we were talking about first?
Yeah, probably a good thing. Yeah.
Okay. There's going to be a change in the way we're podcasting because of Talia's health and even to some extent my own and time constraints. We are going to go to a once a month format, okay? And so we'll probably be podcasting, I think we said the first month of the...
First week of the month.
First week of the month.
We'd be aiming for Tuesday, but like if there's an appointment that day or something like that, we would then move it down the week.
Right, so we will do that, and then the last Friday of the month, we were going to open that Zoom to everybody, but
yeah, the patrons still have something special.
Still have something special. Patrons will be, if you remember the Patreon, you still have all Talia's patterns that are only available to Patreon, all her tutorials.
And right now, patrons are the only ones who have access to my sock pattern.
Right. And you will also have access to, I've been remiss, but Talia and I both have decided that there will be random giveaways of my yarn, of yarn that we have that's good yarn, but we have to destash it because we're not doing anything with it. And there'll be random things like that we'll be giving away probably about once a month.
Yeah, I mean every once in a while you might have a random one in there.
Yeah, I mean it's not going to be on a schedule. It's just gonna be like, oh wow, so it might be once a month.
There might be a giveaway, or I think the palm animals, like the palm pup and all that, are Patreon exclusive. I don't think I put that on Etsy. So, but at the very least, the sock pattern I think will stay Patreon exclusive. Because I keep saying I'm going to put it up. I'm obviously not going to. So that's a Patreon exclusive pattern.
Right. So they're going to be, things that, even though the Zoom is going to go for everybody, so we're going to have a Zoom and a podcast once a month. So you're going to have 2 things a month.
And we have the Patreon link down in the description too.
If you want to be to have access to the Patreon,
the free Zoom
for the free, the free Zoom, right?
Because you have to have a place to put the link.
Right. But I was talking more along the things of the paid Patreon stuff.
Yeah, it's all in one area, but if you do the $1 to get the Patreon, then that opens up for you.
That opens up the potential to win yarn, to win, either my yarn or something that's being destashed. That's still good yarn. Whatever it is, we feel like we can't use this, and so it might go. It could be a kit amount.
You might get tea randomly. You might get whatever randomly. And that also makes available if perhaps you have someone that didn't want to necessarily do the alongs, but maybe they'd be interested in getting a chance at a random prize.
There's that
as well. So
so that's what we're doing. It'll be one. I think we're starting in July.
Yes,
so
we are.
It'll be one podcast a month, one Zoom a month. They're on either end of the month, right?
Yes, because it'll be the first of the month for the podcast. So this month it'll probably be on Wednesday because Mom has an appointment on Tuesday. So the first Wednesday, unless someone's not feeling well, that might move down a little bit during the week, but it's probably going to be on that Wednesday for the podcast of the month. Then we have at the end of the month,
that Friday,
the Zoom. So that's going to be the difference. I'm hoping then you'll see more energy. You're also going to see more progress on projects. What I'm also hoping is you'll see more engagement in the comments because it'll be a bit easier for me particularly to keep up.
Me too.
So
we talked about that this morning. That's why my schedule has been a little bit topsy-turvy this morning because we talked about that before we started. It must have been about an hour or two discussion about what we were going to do.
Because one of the things that I mentioned to Mom is, we have to podcast during what's actually my worst time of day. Because I actually get, in the middle of the day, usually after the time we normally podcast, I get cold chills. Where I'll be freezing, I'll fall asleep, and I'll wake up in cold chills. And I don't know, when how you feel after you have cold chills. You feel awful.
Yeah.
So, I'm hoping, because we cook once a week. We are doing a lot more during the course of the week than I did when we first started podcasting when I got sick. So I have to make allowances. And since we don't want to stop, we want to make it so that way it's more doable. And I like the idea of you guys seeing more progress. We were also talking about the fact that we are going to make the time that we normally would have podcast during those other days a dedicated it's time where we don't talk to each other, but we have dedicated crafting, writing. Like if I have the shared story, I write it until I'm done with it, and then I can work on projects that maybe I wouldn't have the focus to do otherwise in my room, or I can't do while I'm reading. So I pop something in my ears, so I don't talk to Mom if she has a story, or we want to make sure it's strict.
And you might see more yarn from me, because it may be that I say to her, oh, I have an idea, I want to do some yarn, so we'll move from this room into the dining room, which is a dark room. The kitchen has a door between it that's open, and I can dye yarn while I'm talking to her. Now, we
wouldn't be talking necessarily.
That's right. We would,
because that's a strict day.
Right. So it wouldn't be a problem if I have the water going. And
no, it wouldn't be. So and you could even have a book going still, because I'll just stick something in my ears.
Well, I will most likely, pull up something. I usually write something or read something while I'm waiting for the timer.
That's the same thing I do when I'm doing waffles.
So just kind of. But we were trying to hopefully get more journaling done, more writing done, more crafting done.
Well, I have projects that are more complex that I don't feel like working when I'm in my room and I'm tired. Then it's like I'd rather do reading, which requires less focus, or I'd rather do simple projects. I'm hoping that when I'm done with my section of story and I hand it off, that's when I can do, besides journaling, the more complex projects.
Right. And this will, I also have more things coming up with friends coming up now. So I'm hoping...
You have friends?
I have friends. I have a real life. This does not mean that we won't be having alongs. We will continue.
They stay there.
We will continue to have alongs, only instead of having 12 podcasts for each along, we'll have 3 podcasts and 3 Zooms. The Zooms will allow you to show progress on your works in progress that you're working for whatever along. If you want to ask, hey, will this work? We can actually see it and say,
yep. And you can then tease our people who aren't a member, be like, are you sure you won't want to take a part? Although actually they might feel like they can take part in along, even though they don't want to go for the prizes in the PHN home for whatever reason. Maybe they still will feel like maybe they can knit along with us at least.
They can knit along with us,
Zoom,
and they have a chance of winning a random prize
if they're if they pay the $1 for the Patreon versus the free Zoom.
Right. So we're still working a little bit the bugs out, but that's it in the nutshell, and what we're going to be doing.
And I'm hoping you'll see more animation besides more progress, because it's been getting to the point where it's just been really hard to want to do it every week when I know that there is a payment for it, and it's like you never really catch up.
She doesn't mean monetary either.
No, I don't mean monetary. I mean physically. And then it's like you don't really ever catch up.
And I've had so little time dedicated because I've been so tired that it seems like all I'm showing you is the same 2 or 3 or 4
and
stitches.
That's made you frustrated.
And I feel like it's boring for you. So we hope that we'll have more variety, we'll have more progress, we'll have more interaction with the Zooms. And then the ones who are Patreons, who paid Patreons, will have the opportunity. Oh, the other thing I forgot to say was there may be on occasion where I may have a sale, but the Patreons will get an extra bit knocked off. Like instead of 10%, it might be 15%.
Right.
Special occasions. They already have a Patreon code.
There is already a special Patreon code.
I forgot about that when we were talking
about
that.
And that's in the pinned post for the paid for Patreons.
Right. So that's what we're thinking about. We'd love to hear what you have to say in the comments below. And of course, we're having a Zoom tomorrow, so hopefully that one is still paid only.
Right, because it's starting off in July.
But we'd love to hear what you have to say about that. It's the only way we think we can keep it going for you guys, and we really want to keep it going.
Or at least keep it going where it doesn't feel like it's very hard every week.
Yeah, because I got to the point where I was really not wanting to do it because I felt like I was not getting anything done and worth showing.
And it was getting hard physically for me to feel like mustering the energy each week. But if I know, like, okay, I have also a month to work on the project, I also like the fact that I can possibly have more engagements. Because I was mentioning to my mom, it's very different. It's very different than when I do the booktube, where I can do it in the middle of the night when I feel at my best. I'm not on a schedule. And then if I record a bunch of time, because I do try to do shorter videos for that, I can record a bunch of time and then just sort of like schedule them to come out so it looks like I'm doing a lot, but I'm actually like batch recording.
Right. So we're hoping that it'll work. And I know I was going to say something else, but I can't remember. So I'm going to go into the alongs now.
Yes.
We have a couple of days. I know I said I'd put the thread up, but I've been I told you last podcast, I think, I've been swamped with paperwork for Davina. And so I think I finally got the one thing off in the mail. I have to wait until next week when the lady gets back from vacation or wherever she is to get the other one off, but I can't do any more on that anyway. But that's what kept me, I did get, I'll do that in shop news. I did get a few things done, but it's just very difficult to find any time to do any knitting or crocheting.
We did bake bread. Because we usually do have a cooking day. We just flipped things because Mom was developing a headache yesterday. We weren't really sure about podcasting. I didn't feel like doing it yesterday. So instead we baked bread, which is awesome because that means we have soda bread. And it looks all artisan-y.
Yes, it's got all the it's the kind that you put the little cross in the middle of it and it gets all bumpy around. It's round. It doesn't have any yeast in it, and it's gluten-free, dairy-free.
Yeah, so we'll be making it again, but it's going to be really nice. This pea soup recipe is amazing. It's a Scottish pea soup. It's actually vegan, or vegetarian. It's one of the two. I think it actually is vegan.
This is a knitting and crocheting podcast, just in case you're wondering. Go ahead.
It's become a lifetime podcast.
Oh, gosh.
But yeah, so I wish you guys could taste this pea soup. It's absolutely amazing.
It's amazing. We're gonna have that for lunch today.
I think it's a taste of home. I'll have to find out for sure.
I don't know.
Because it's free.
I'm looking forward to.
Oh, we could put that up. Because I didn't pay for it, we can put it up for free on Patreon.
Just make sure.
Oh, I didn't pay for it.
Was it a magazine?
No, I didn't pay for it. I found it online.
Okay.
Because I did a bunch of crock pot recipe searches, and that was one of my free ones.
So that's another thing that you might get if you're, we will probably focus on gluten-free, dairy-free quite a bit, but recipes that, maybe a recipe swap area or something. Recipe area where we put recipes that we try, and you guys who are on the Patreon, Patreon only.
Yeah.
Paid Patreon can go ahead and put what you like, and, and that'll be fun around Christmas time.
Yeah. Because I have to play around with it because I think you can make sections or at least do tags so you can find things more easily. Because that pea soup, guys, it is so amazing. You got all these different vegetables in it too. You've got onions, you've got carrots, you've got celery, you've got the peas.
No bacon though.
No. Well, it's yeah. I think there might be some garlic in there, and so you chop everything up, you make it, and then you blend it when you're done. Oh, it's so good.
I may have to bite the bullet and buy the $1 a month because I can't get into anything, and I get so frustrated
when you can't see anything.
When I can't see anything.
And I know you don't like having to use the password because I've given you the password before.
I've lost it. I can't find it. Because I don't like having to do that, and it's just I won't have the administrative abilities, but
you can still make posts. So at least there is that. Because I'm pretty sure you could still make posts. We'll have to play around and see what you are capable of doing. Because I know it is different than like on a board or something.
Well, maybe they have a different level that you can say, okay, this level has administrative.
Well, I checked. You can't make two administrators.
Or not moderator. Moderation.
Yeah, I can't remember if Patreon has that ability. I feel like it doesn't because I know that Dan had to do it. I'm pretty sure Dan had to do everything for theirs, and not just because he wanted to. I think it was a requirement, and they had a lot more going on there. They probably made enough to make it to that next tier.
Right.
Okay. But regardless,
there's only a couple more days left in the alongs that we're doing in autism awareness, and the second quarter of the anything goes along. We are going to continue with our alongs, just the same as normal, just with less frequent podcasts for it. So the rules and everything, because we've been blabbering for almost, I don't know how long, almost 20 minutes. I'm not going to go through the rules and stuff.
It's in the group.
It's in the group where you have to belong if you're going to be.
If you're going to take part, yeah.
So the only thing I am going to say is that future yarns and patterns are anything by me, Talia, or Laura Concert, and the
isn't that one that didn't you add on
Braided Bright.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about designers. Didn't you add on Crystal?
George. Yeah, George, who's Braided Bright, Modest Creation, who is the Lapgan and the
I didn't do any particular pattern for crystal. That's why I said,
Yeah,
was it all crystals?
Crystals was all crystals, and
That's why I wanted to bring it up.
I think that's all of them.
I think she has a new pattern. I've been intending to watch that video, but I haven't had the time
I didn't
yet.
know she had another one up.
I just saw it recently, and it looks like it might be a lion. It looks really cute.
She does a lot of cute patterns, and they're not very difficult. I don't think I have it with the. I usually buy all her toy patterns, and then I put them aside, thinking I'm going to do them, and then they just sit there.
You need to make a folder or something that's just hers.
Yeah, I think I do have a folder for her.
And then, if you have one started, that might be something fun for you to just kind of have going as just sort of one you pick up and do as you feel like. Those could be possibly really cute for charity, too.
They could be. But anyway, the autism work, this is hashtag PHNAA 2023. Everything has to be bright colored. The majority of it. I always say about 85%. But we're not going to be going with a magnifying glass. Just, you guys who've been with us know forever, and those who are new can ask, and a moderator or somebody will either tag us or they'll answer because they know the answers. The same thing with the multiple postings, multiple chances for a prize, and all that kind of stuff is on the thread. The Anything Goes, Mal, is Make Along, is ending the second quarter, because this one goes all year. And this is just Anything Goes, like it says. And the only thing that are featured for this are things by me, Talia, or Laura.
If you are not officially taking part in the long, but you still want to show off projects that would count in it, I do have the PHN Instagram. If you post something, besides using the tag, please tag me so I can see it, or tag Mom as well, because you can tag Mom at Lady Furnico Creations, and you can tag me at the PHN tag, and then you can be sure we'll see your project.
Yeah, because I won't see it unless you tag me.
And if it's a lot easier than for me just trying to keep track of the tag, I want to see what you guys post if you choose to post it on Instagram, and you still, and for whatever reason you want to keep, go for a prize.
And starting next month, if you're in the Zoom, even if you're not a paid Patreon, you can show us whatever you're working on there.
Right, exactly.
But if you want to,
and I mean, that's regardless as to if you're doing one that runs into a long, whatever
you're working on.
Yeah. Which would be kind of fun if I could see some people that we don't get a chance to see as well.
Exactly.
And the link for that Zoom will be in the Patreon, which will make sure that we mention it, remind people on the each time we have the podcast, hey, remember, we have the Zoom
at the end of the month.
At the end of the month.
And will you send that reminder?
When people sign up for an email or whatever, it goes out. But I mean, I won't email random people because I wouldn't know who to email.
Yeah, I don't know how we're going to do that.
I have to check and see if there's a way, because you can sign. I believe there's a way to sign up for free memberships, because I've done it for medieval.
Yeah, I think there is
medieval something. A medieval one that Paul got me hooked on.
I'm pretty sure there is, because I think there's like a free level and then you're.
So if I set people up for a free level that they can sign up for, then if they sign up for that, they'll get emails whenever the Zoom would start. I'll take a look into it. I'm pretty sure you can do that, because, like I said, I think I've done it for other places.
And we'll have it clearly in there, there is a difference.
It'll be clear.
There is a difference between the ones who pay $1 and the ones who are free.
Yeah. The main differences being, besides the tutorials and stuff, you'll be the only ones who get the $1. I'll get the sock pattern, which is apparently never going up anywhere.
And the palm ones.
And the palm animals. And then, of course, whatever random giveaways, and we were talking about and possibly recipe swaps and stuff.
And the always available code for I think it's 10% off my yarn. The potential of having a little more off if you are paid on occasion, like on special occasions. Okay, so the Anything Goes, Mal, I think I already said all this.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that.
The hashtag is in the group, PHN Anything Goes on Instagram, and all these things we've opened up not just to knitting, crocheting, loom knitting, weaving, but also paper crafts. Okay, and if it's a small project, please do 2 in the thread to be eligible for a prize. We've said 50 yards or less needs another one in yarn stuff. You're going to have to kind of use your own judgment in terms of paper crafts.
Right, because that's a lot harder to judge.
Right. So And sometimes some of those small things can be really
Well, I was
intricate.
just thinking about like some origami, like that can be complex.
So can some of the smaller knitted things. So it's not really,
Yeah.
We'll have to do it by ear a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so that takes care of that.
Okay, so that leads us.
Oh,
Yes, ma'am.
the upcoming along is
Yes.
cardiac arthritis, dysautonomia. However we have it, I have to look it up. Is it ACE? Did we do it alphabetically, or
I think we did CDA.
cardiac dysautonomia, arthritis?
Because we did it in order that we added. Because
Okay.
it started off cardiac, then we added dysautonomia, then we added arthritis.
So cardiac dysautonomia arthritis starts July 1st, and it goes for 3 months. So that's July, August, and September. So that it will be leading into the toy along. We don't want to even go that way.
That's in the last quarter.
Yeah, I can't even think about the year going this fast. So that's what we're looking at. I will try to put the thread up in the next couple of days, so it'll be up and ready for you guys. My time has been freed up a little bit, so hopefully I'll be able to do that soon. Okay, so we move ahead there. I've been talking a lot. You're going to get to talk now.
Yeah. Now, if you feel like I said, if you end up feeling that you've missed some of the content that we have had, I also do booktube fairly more often. So if you want to catch videos here and there, I do those whenever I feel like, and I tend to do a bunch at one time and then spread them out.
And she goes ad nauseum.
Well, yeah, because that's where I can go without driving mom insane.
And I'm usually pretty good. I listen to a lot. It's just like, but I'm going to go first simply because I have a bag to wave.
Yeah, you wave your bag.
Okay, so where is my bag to wave? Well,
Did you drop the bag?
I waved
to
my
wave?
bag. I waved my bag.
Okay, so she waved her bag. So for me, then, since she has already waved her invisible bag.
Yeah, so I put the wrong bag down.
Oh, okay. I'm going to show the
Why is the tea gone?
one that I've worked on mostly. I actually, when I had booktube videos that I did, they're like random tags that I tended to knit during those because I didn't need to show books. So I got actually a decent amount done.
She's further than I am.
Oh, am I?
But yours is smaller.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I did the size down from you.
And also, because I thought I was going to work on it when I was helping Mrs. DeAndrea, but I didn't. I sat down there and I had to...
Right. So, yeah, this, I'm using a Pound of Love, and this is their pastel green.
It's almost like pistachio.
Thank you very much. It does almost look like pistachio. And I think that I am
Tough
doing
pistachio, baby, like it.
the large size, which is the receiving blanket, which is 40 by 40, approximately. Oh, and I didn't see what it was. This is my migraine blanket pattern that I designed literally when I had a migraine. So it's a nice simple blanket that I can do while I'm reading, which is nice because that means I get more of it done. And I can do when I just can't focus. This doesn't require anything from me. I don't even have to keep track of rows.
That's why I'm doing it, because it's easy.
Exactly, and that's what I wanted. Like, and then I also know that it's not going to just take up space. This will be set aside for when either the pregnancy center or for
Random people.
random people at church, because we have a lot of people who we have a young booming parish.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, we have a lot of older people. We just have a vibrant parish.
yes.
We have on all ages, and when our families have babies, our average families, I think, are 6 kids.
And a color like this is nice to have just available because it's a neutral. So you can just kind of keep colors like green and yellow on hand.
Purple, lavender.
Lavender on hand, knowing that, okay, it doesn't matter what they're having, it'll work.
I figure you have a green, this kind of green, that lavender color, that yellow, and the kind of orangey peachy kind of color.
Yeah.
And those are really good. And then you have your blues and your pinks to do for.
There's also a red that I happen to have.
Yeah, red is a little bit. I think it depends on the red. If
Yeah,
it's
this is
little-
a bright red.
If it's bright red, I think it's more. They tend to go more masculine, like. And I'm being very traditional here. more masculine, like the primary colors, and then if you have the softer ones, it's more toward the, if you have a bright red, a primary red, it's a boy, but if you have a more soft red, it might be a girl.
And there's a lot available in the Pound of Love, and this tends to be my preferred baby blanket yarn because there's just so much to it. It's not uncomfortable to use, and you can usually use 1 to 2 skeins depending on the size of your blanket. And it's what I designed all my baby blankets with. So, yes.
And you're not going to see mine because I didn't get to work on it because I ended up using the yarn that was in there. One of the skeins I used to kind of put together a mock-up to see if I could help Mrs. DeAndrea with her thing. So I didn't work on my project. I just worked on
hers.
On hers. So in my picnic bag, okay, tablecloth bag. I love this bag. Got it at Knitter's Magic in Winchester, which is our local yarn store. It's about 35 minutes away. This is my Cherry Bomb shawl from the Scrap Shawl Pattern by Anastasia Zattel. And I worked on it a little bit while I was watching television with Mike last night. We're watching an old show called The Fugitive, and with David Jansen. So I made a little bit of progress. I think I did about a row and a half, maybe 2, because it's starting to get bigger.
Well, yeah, it takes longer when it starts getting.
See, it's getting bigger. I haven't worked on the yellow one because I still have to dye up the yarn for that.
Right.
For the daffodil colorway for that. I guess I could pull it from the shop, but I don't really want to.
Well, it's not the right weight anyway. Right?
I have a DK and a...
Oh, okay.
I have a DK and a fingering sock for that.
But you don't want to use it personal use, necessarily.
No, I don't. So, well, I'm going to do personal use regardless, but if I do personal use for an undyed, it's less expensive than a personal use
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
For a dyed yarn. So... But yeah, I did about maybe 1.5 to 2.5 rows of this when I was watching The Fugitive with my husband. And yeah, it grew quite a bit because it does that. It's a big stitch. The yarn is Miss Babs, which means it's a light worsted / DK. And it's my go-to for most projects, that weight of yarn. Because it does go fast. I think this is Miss Babs.
Not that color.
The first 2 are mine.
I don't think that one's a Miss Babs. I don't remember who did that one.
Yeah,
because I have a whole mixture of things in there because I just grabbed from my stash.
We couldn't figure out what this was, if anybody recognizes this.
It might be Undead.
I thought about that because it feels...
It kind of looks like her yarn.
I wonder if this is Big Bad Wolf.
It could be. I'm not really sure because, like I said, that's an older yarn. I didn't have a tag
This
in it.
might be Big Bad Wolf, which is an undead yarn. If Heidi's still watching, you can tell me, Heidi, if that's what that is. If not, I don't know.
Because that's an older skein, and I lost the ball band a long time ago. So basically, I just grabbed reds that were the same weight and threw them in a box and said, "Here you go. I want, red shawl, please." So,
and this is no real hardship for me. I don't mind doing this particular shawl. It's relaxing.
And it gave you a couple different colors that you haven't done with this shawl. The red's very different than the orangey one that I have, orange brown one that I have, and the yellow
I very rarely work in yellow.
Yeah, exactly, which is kind of fun, just kind of like with me working in the purple right now.
Purple, I like working in. I never wear purple. I never do. I love that bright color purple to look at, and one of my favorite colors is that really royal blue that has that purple underneath. But I don't wear purple.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a purple shirt for a while, but I just
didn't wear it.
Don't wear it. I mean, I wore it, but I don't. It's not something I gravitate to. If I see something, in a store and I've got several of the same styles, that's not the color I'm going to go to.
Right. Then for me, I'm keeping buzzed by the birds.
The birds.
Is I finally finished binding off the log that I was binding off for the courthouse steps. And I started the next log. So, don't know what the yarn is. It's just a blue scrap.
That's pretty.
It is pretty.
It's kind of
like a navy.
No, it's too light for a navy. The depth is wrong. I don't know, maybe. Oh, it's pretty whatever it is.
Yeah, it's really pretty. And the last one I finished was this orangey gray one here. So it was nice to finally just bind off the thing and just start the next one. I just was putting it off. So got that going. As it continues to grow, it means that it'll take a little longer for each log, which means that it'll feel like I might work on it more because I don't have to pick up or bind off as often, just because it's pure laziness.
Right.
Because I don't want it to count or whatever. But yeah, so that got at least that work done. Which is, it's definitely taken me long enough.
Right.
Your turn.
All right, let me just finish this stitch here. And clip it off. So I don't lose it. Not that I can't fix it, but I don't feel like doing stuff over.
And next week is the last week where you'll just see the, shorter progress on projects, because we still have a week between them because we're doing the first of the month like we're supposed to for July.
Mm-hmm.
First week of the month like we're supposed to for July. And then after that point, you'll start seeing more progress.
Right, because we'll have the first week of July and then the Zoom at the end of July.
Yeah. But
actually, they'll always have that little bit of progress that we're doing.
Well, the Zoom doesn't count.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it does count.
It does, because everyone
sees it. But that one might have less progress, but you will have a
more
big
interaction.
Yeah, and also you'll have the big chunk in between.
When we can't talk to you, you're going to see more projects. When we can talk back and forth.
Right. You'll see more progress between after the normal podcast to the page to Zoom. Yeah. So you have that the number of weeks, and then
Right. So what I was trying to say is that when we do our I was going to say that's not going to work.
I think what you were trying to say before
it's backwards.
I think what you were trying to say before I interrupted you is that you get more of the projects in between after the podcast itself, but during the Zoom you get more interaction, even though you don't necessarily see more progress on the projects.
I mean, yeah, but that doesn't work because we do the first of the month.
Yep. Then we have the Zoom.
But the first of the month, and we have 4 weeks. We have all that progress.
Yeah. Okay. I guess you do see more. So you'll see. The funny thing with the Zoom is you may not even see the full progress.
Well, there'll be a lot of talking. We'll be doing talking.
Yeah.
That's why. Well, I don't know. It'll work itself out.
The Zoom won't work like the normal podcast. We won't have the structure.
No.
So it's not like we're going to be like, here's all the projects in the same way we do. So
it's a knitting night.
Yeah, it's a knitting night. So like you'll still see in between the podcasts like you would normally, like we would count it for the full month. The Zoom would be like, oh, if you happen to see something we're working on, great, but you'll still get to see it again because the Zoom is almost more about the chatting than anything else.
Yeah, and this is for, like I said, the Zoom will be for everybody. The Patreon stuff, as we explained earlier, the paid for Patreon will be slightly different.
Yeah, and I'll set up the free membership part, later.
Okay, let me get my...
So,
did you finish all your projects?
I have one, but you have...
I have one.
Yeah.
Okay, this is in my 10-year anniversary bag. Mrs. DeAndre liked this bag. I brought this one too because I had this lofty idea that it would be really easy to show what we were doing. And then we just sit there for a little bit. But it wasn't.
I guess if she needed help, it would make sense that...
Yeah, she's a pretty...
I mean, I don't know her level. I didn't know her level.
I would say she's probably intermediate. But the pattern's beginner, but it's very difficult because it's one of those patterns I think she must have got maybe from a magazine because it's really scrunched together. And I had a hard time seeing. I ever read it out to her. She said that maybe she wrote it down wrong. And there were a couple of times where I said something and she repeated it back. I wasn't sure she got it. But it was very difficult for her.
Well, some of those really scrunched ones are really hard because the sweater pattern that I'm working for Davina is that way. Where it's just like, I will never knit that pattern again, even though it's beautiful, because it's a pain in the neck to keep track of where you are.
You'd have to have it exploded. I could explode
Well, though, even exploding it, the reason it's not very clear. And it's not just how close it is. It's a bunch of different things. It's just not very well set up.
Right. Well, I know that it's hard. Like, this one is hard because within it, and I'm not telling you what it says, but let's say it says single crochet, double crochet, single crochet in the first 3 stitches. Then and it's got a little star by it, okay? Then it has a parentheses, and it says 1 double crochet in the next single crochet, skip 3, 2 double crochets, and parentheses. Okay, and this is okay. Do this 6 times, and then so you do that in the parentheses first, and it has another asterisk that says go back to the asterisk. So you
see that for me is actually fairly easy because I do that all the time.
But see, this is something that, and I said I made it easy. She's got it's like she has one part that you repeat. Okay, you do the one part, then you repeat what's in the parentheses, but you do that for like 6 times. Then you go back to this thing and you do it again, and you do that a total of 3 more times.
Yep.
And it was messing her up.
Yeah, because I would just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Have the bracket say what I need to do. Okay, I need to do that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 again. Okay, bracket say what I need to do. That's what I normally do.
See, I will just explode it for her.
For me, that's just what works for my head because I can scratch off as I go along without marking out my pattern.
I have to figure out how I'm going to type this up for her and see if I. That's why I don't want Davina to do it because.
It's because she's not going to understand what she's typing.
Right, and if I can do it, I can have okay.
You can make it make sense.
I can say okay, like you said with the bracket thing. I can write everything out right, and I can do okay. The here's the 6 times. Do that 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just put the numbers there, and then for the other thing, 1, 2, 3. You put asterisk 1, 2, 3, and you know how. I know it. I can see it in my head. I can't understand what you were doing. You probably can't understand what I'm saying, but
no,
it's we do it slightly differently.
Well, yeah, because I use the notebook, and I will write. Okay, here's 1, here's 2, here's 3, here's 4, here's 5, here's 6. Then I do a bracket like that, and I'll be like, these are stitches that I need to do for that little section. And then, okay, now I need to repeat that section 6 again. I will do that again.
Right, but see, I don't want to have to write that all out for her.
Yeah, for me, that's what I do just when I'm doing a pattern myself.
When I do it myself, I do slightly differently. I have different ways of doing it. It's similar to what Talia does, but not exactly. It's just the way my brain works a little bit differently.
Well, yeah, and we know that.
Yes, we do know that.
Did you actually show the project?
I did not. This is my Little Boy Blue baby blanket, and this is just a straight double crochet.
Well, because you're letting the yarn do the work.
I'm letting the yarn. This is ice yarn that we picked up when after both Kara and Chronically Crocheting gave me ice yarn, which I really enjoyed working with.
Yeah, because you have quite a bit of that.
I have quite a bit. This is my baby blanket yarn right now, and one of them anyway.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Talia, and I don't know if I said this on the podcast last time, but what I'd like to have eventually is like this blanket, this plain single crochet, the double crochet, I mean, the Surabelle, and maybe 1 or 2 other baby blankets that maybe I'll design them. And then Talia's migraine blanket and 1 or 2 5410 and maybe another knitted blanket that are simple enough. They look nice, but they're simple enough, and I can just have something that I can go back and forth with when I'm making the baby blankets for charity, because I think a lot of my knitting and crocheting now, I'm still going to make shawls for me and Talia and all that, but I think it's going to be a lot more toward the baby blankets and the baby hats and the hats for charity and things like that, because I don't need a whole bunch of stuff. And I do want to, and I go to the smaller things. Maybe you'll see things get finished. Now, baby blankets are smaller, but if I decide to make a blanket like for my parents or something, that's what the migraine blanket is going to be for my parents. I hope if I ever finish it. That if something like that will be bigger, but I'm thinking about doing mostly toys. I think Talia's toys will be making a resurgence. Also, some of the ones that I have from what's it called, Zootopia. And it's called those books that have all the toys.
Oh, I don't know what those are called because I don't use them.
Zumagurumi.
Yeah.
Zumagurumi. Crystal's toys, things like that. Laura gave me a couple of toy pattern that I can't remember, but they're really cute that I can go to. Simple toys that I can make, even Stacy Trox, where I can just make those either for gifts or whatever, pregnancy center or whatever.
Yeah, you just have to make sure to not do the plastic eyes.
Right, and that I can maybe, just... Talia's will be good for that, but there are quite a few of them that don't have. They have the
well, you can make there's ways to just make a nice flat eye.
Yeah, if you make a flat eye, or if some of them, like Stacy, some of them have the more protruding eye.
Yeah.
And that's fine. So, just my thought is that if I do that, I'll be able to do more projects. I have been having an itch to do a crocheted sweater again, and Talia gave me several really pretty patterns when we were kind of in our heyday of doing sweaters and all that kind of stuff. I've actually done 2 sweaters, so I was thinking I would do it. I never did it because it was a little bit complicated. But I'm thinking maybe that...
Well, now you have the dedicated crafting time, and you have a period of time where I'm just going to be writing. You could possibly work on that.
And I saw something in Expression Fiber Arts that it was a really cute pattern, and since it's top down, she always tends to go for patterns that seem to be cropped. But because it's top down, I can make the length whatever I want it to be.
Right.
And I can also make the sleeves a little longer. They have this tendency to make short sleeves like way up here. I prefer them down to about here.
Right.
And so if I can do that, I'm having a hard time finding the shirts I want to wear. And they're all, and so if I can start making them, that would be really nice.
Yeah.
You know, so that's, but anyway, that's this. It's not a, I did do about, again on this one, about a row and a half. Because this is really simple. It's kind of mindless. I just do what I do. I had tried putting a single crochet in here and you really couldn't tell, so I said, well, I don't want to keep track of it, so I'm just gonna do the double
If you
crochet.
can't tell the difference, just stick with then my final one, hang on, I got to get a little tangled, is in my plover bird birds on a wire bag. There we go. And here is Mom's Christmas sock, the Dance All Night sock pattern.
Yay. For Christmas, maybe.
So
Look at that.
I did finish doing the heel and the gusset, so I'm just on the foot now. And then I'll be able to, finish that up, do the toe.
And that's it came without packages, right?
Yes. So after this is done, I'll be able to start the next sock.
I can't wait for that. Yay.
So this needs to get a little bit more knitting done on it, but
You got time.
Yeah. I do need the yarn for
Daddy.
Dad.
Yeah. Well, again, now that I've got a little bit of time freed up,
Yeah.
I can maybe put that together. Somebody liked my black hole.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that. I think it was Rena, wasn't it?
No, it was Bettina.
Oh, okay.
Let's see here. Okay, so that takes care of projects, I think, right?
Yes, it does.
Let me just make sure that I don't have anything else. Getting hot. There we go. Let's see here. I already showed that because I always show the bag first, or in this case, the non-existent bag. Okay. What do you have? Anything else?
No projects. And stash enhancement always goes after yarn.
Okay, so yarn. You mean for the shop?
Yeah, shop always goes before stash enhancement. Stash
Okay.
enhancement's always at the end.
Shop. I have all my yarn that I showed you previously is all up in the shop. All of it's up. Fingering. I've put in fingering weight. I think I've put maybe 4 or 6 skeins of fingering sock weight up, and the rest were DK. So I think I almost doubled what's in my shop. So it's all up. I hope to be dyeing more yarn in the future, but right now, all the things that you saw recently are up in the shop. Electric Avenue's up. Living on a Prayer is up. Daffodil is up. All those things are up. Black Hole is up. They're all in the shop. Butterscotch, all that. Okay. And I hope to be dyeing yarn again in the future, but I think at the moment I have to focus on, somebody wanted me to make Black Hole, and Talia wants me to make Black Hole, so I have to do that. I have to make some Daffodil, but hopefully I'll be able to make some other things as well. And I'm thinking about doing Daffodil in one of my long worsted,
Oh yeah.
so that I can have that and not have to make so many of them, and just see how that works.
Right.
Because it should be, I think it's a longer, not a longer, a lighter worsted. I'll let you feel it and see if you want me to use that.
Honestly, I'm very flexible about what's in it. I usually, if it's within that DK worsted range, I just tend to use it together.
Well, I'll show you anyway, and you can see what you feel, because that would be a lot easier. I could just do that one skein. It's a bigger skein of yarn, maybe 2 skeins in one, and so I can just do that, and then I'll have it for a little while.
Yeah.
And then I can concentrate on doing the Black Hole and the other things that I need to be doing. Other than that, I was toying with the idea of having a 4th of July sale. I don't know if I'm going to or not. But Patreons have a coupon code that's always running.
It's pinned.
Yeah, and people who have bought from me before, if you look at your invoices, there's a thank you code on there, so you can use that as well. You can only use one code at a time.
Yeah, you can't use both.
Okay. And if you do a purchase of $35 or more, I pay the shipping. So it's just that's the way my shop is set up right now. I am playing around with the idea of not doing that anymore, but for right now, it's still there. Okay. That's all I have for that.
Okay, stash enhancement. So I'll show one thing. I want the other one to be last.
Yes, that's fine.
But this is something that might be when I'm finished writing my portion of the shared story this time around. I'll then probably start working on this because this requires a 1.75 hook. But he's so cute. This is he's a holder for glasses. He's a little owl, and the glasses are actually someone's glasses, and the eyes are like they're crocheted on. And
this is the kit.
Yeah, this is the kit.
Oof, that would drive me nuts.
And a 1.75 hook. So this is going to be something that would not be in the dark of my room.
Oh, this is really soft. It feels almost like cashmere.
And then I think you brush it with the cat brush afterwards. So I guess that this is for the beak and the feet. I'm not sure what my twine here is for. And you work it around the styrofoam ball. And I have some styrofoam balls that Dad gave me.
Wait a minute. This is knitted around a styrofoam ball.
Crocheted, like they suggest that you have a toy filleted silicone ball.
Oh, okay.
I guess to give it some structure.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they'd be just fine with stuffing as well. But
we have to look this up and see what this is made of because it's really soft. It's almost slippery.
Well, it came from
Poland.
Poland, I think.
Yeah.
So it might not be an American.
But you should be able to look it up.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all in Polish, so, but it feels really, really soft, almost slippery. So I think it's an acrylic of some kind, but it's.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Yeah, look, premium. Looks like it says premium acrylic because AKRILIK. So that's there for and 60% polyamide.
Okay, so it's got some kind of nylon.
So 60% polyamide, 40% premium acrylic is what I translate from there.
That's. I see. I can't see it without my glasses.
Well, it's actually bigger words.
I still can't see it without. I can't read that.
Oh, okay.
Without my glasses. Let me see.
And I don't have the tag for the rest of them. And it looks like you require a little extra skein of this white.
60% polyamide and 40% premium acrylic is what I'm getting out of that.
Oh, I think this is a little shine of white shine in the eyes.
Right.
And I still haven't figured out where that gold goes in.
I wish I knew it.
Oh, the gold is the iris.
Oh, okay.
He's got gold eyes. I just saw that. Okay.
Oh, around it. Yeah.
Yes,
golden eyes.
Yeah.
This is. Now, see, if this was this soft without the fur, the fur is just awful. I just don't like dealing with fur.
So I figured for her, because her proceeds go to help her family in the Ukraine. So.
And I might buy a kit from her if I can see
what the hook side is. Well, you can look at your pattern. And see.
No, but also to see how much if she has any left over.
Yeah, and we'll see how it works with mine.
Because I'm usually a little bit bigger, at least a little bigger than most people.
Yeah.
Although I have tightened up. Before we get into my stash enhancements, this came from Mama C.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Mama C sent us a surprise package for our prizes. So one person will get two different people will get one of these.
So pretty.
They're opal. They're both opal. Opal Classics and I don't know what this other one. Opal something or other.
It's got sparkly.
It's got sparkles in it.
It's opal. Hold on, I'm just want to take a look for you. Looks like it's a Christmas one.
Christmas pickle.
Let's see. Opal Funny.
This one's very autumnal.
Yeah, it's called Opal Funny.
This one's very, very autumnal. This one, I'm going to look this one up. And
the colorway's funny.
I like this color. I think it would make a great turtle.
Oh, yeah. But that's fingering weight.
Yeah, that's what I have to look it up. It looks like a sport weight. Look at this.
Yeah, but it's definitely fingering weight.
It doesn't look like a finger. Look at that.
Well, if you were to look at it against...
I mean, it is a finger. I'm sure.
My West Yorkshire spinners, it would be the same.
How many yards are in here? I don't know how many yards.
Okay,
425 meters.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is definitely a fingering weight. It's just a little bit a heavier one because usually you get, that's 435 yards. Usually you get 460 yards. But So that's the 2 yards, one each person. Thank you very much, Christina.
Yes, thank you.
We very much appreciate. She's great with keeping us in prizes.
Yeah, I think those are Christmas colorways.
This one's autumnal, although it looks kind of like my sock.
It makes me think of, I have a Christmas colorway from West Yorkshire Spinners that kind of reminds me of that.
This is kind of similar, except it has purple. It reminds me of my sock.
Yeah.
That you just showed. So that's for you guys, not
So
for
I think
us.
those might be Christmas colors, which is great because, you know, then if you don't start right away, or if you do start right away, you can have socks for Christmas.
Now, this Taya gave me, they're little hummingbird bookmarks.
Yeah, I left my hummingbird in the other room.
So that's that. How much do you have left? Oh, you have the big one, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'll just go ahead and do mine. My anniversary, Mike and I celebrated our 41st anniversary 2 days ago. And the weekend, we went out to eat. And we go to this place called Magnolias in the Mill, I think is what it's called, in Percival. And there's a tea shop there. I've mentioned this tea shop before. It's called Dominion Tea. And this tea that I got, I asked her, if she had any African teas, because I mentioned a few podcasts back that a lady from Adagio was a missionary. I think it's called Malawi, Africa. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right, but she got me some tea from a place there, and I went into the shop and we didn't know what it was, and I went to the shop and said, well, do you have any of that of African tea? She said, yeah, is it black or green? I said, well, I thought it was an oolong. She said, it's probably a green. So this is what she gave me, and if this is the same thing, I'll keep it. If it's not and I don't like it, I'll send it to my friend because I think she will like it. But this is called it's called Satmois Zomba Green. Satmois? I don't know. Zomba Green.
Yes, it's someone, I'm not sure.
So it's an African tea. It's a green tea.
You're actually showing the back of it.
Yeah, it's got the thing on the back.
Oh, okay.
This is the front of it, just Dominion Tea, and that's a quasi local to us. It's in Percival, which is about 45 minutes away. And you do it from 165 to 185 degrees Fahrenheit, 1 teaspoon per 8 ounces, 2 to 4 minutes. I never have 8 ounces. That's not tea for me. I have to have at least 12.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So this is that, and then I made an order to Adagio because I needed to refill.
Speaking of which, I need to refill my sugar thing.
I have, okay, I'm getting more sugar anyway.
Oh, good.
I got 2 little 8-ounce sugars because I wanted to have these in case.
Uh-huh.
But Davina got me for anniversary an Adagio card, so I'm beefing up my order with the sugar, and then I'm getting some more little gray cells because I run out of that real quick. But this time I bought 2 of my own blends that I haven't tried yet.
Thanks, buddy.
And I don't know the names of them because I didn't put the names on. I think one is called My Ode to Russian Earl Grey or something like that, and the other one is Eastern Russian Earl Grey or something like that. And then the one on top is somebody else's. It's called The Invisible Man. So
It was chocolate and peppermint, right?
yeah, I can't resist chocolate and peppermint. So this one's one of mine. I don't know if you can see that very well. And the one on the top here is somebody else's, and the bottom is mine. So I haven't tried them yet. I wanted to wait until you saw it. My husband asked me if I had tried the one from Africa, and I said I wanted to show you guys first. So now that I've shown you, I can try it. Hopefully I'll like it. If not, I'll send it to my friend, and hopefully she'll like it.
Yeah.
That's all I have for stash enhancement.
Okay, so this other stash enhancement was not something I purchased.
I said, Taya, what did you buy from Adagio?
And I was like, nothing, because...
So there's a box out there.
Yeah, so someone just randomly sent me a box that...
And they do this occasionally. And people, either Adagio who has sent me things, or people will send things just because they want to.
Yeah, so I haven't yet seen if anyone's responded to my thank you. So I have the July Adagio box.
And what she means by that is there's an envelope, a single portion of tea for every day of the month of July. And when she's in this club, she can post pictures and
Every
things
day.
like that every day, and so she can get more points.
Yeah, so I will end up using one of my Adagio mugs because it's the perfect size for that.
Yeah, it is.
It comes with these little pins, which are so cute. I think I know where I'm going to put them. I have a little pocket on my a jacket thing that's the jean jacket thing. So I think I'll, kind of like you see like people have their
Their stars or whatever.
their stars or whatever. It's gonna go there because then it's not gonna poke me really, and it won't really damage anything because it's not something that'll pull.
I have to figure out where I'm going to put mine.
And it's got their little tea emojis.
T-emojis is what they're called.
Yeah. So I didn't even know these were a thing because I haven't been active.
Oh, I told you about them.
You probably mentioned them. I just forgot.
And I put off getting them until I was like, well, she has it now and I want one. Then she was going to get mine because she had a whole bunch of points. And I said, well, let me check and see how many points I have.
And you actually had...
I had more points, so I went and got my own. So mine are coming in as soon as I make my order.
So we have Happy Timoji. Oh, that's Big Grin Timoji. Then we have Smile Timoji. Sad Timoji with a Band-Aid on his forehead. Let's see.
I think we should have a laughing or a crying.
Here's one with hearts. Eyes.
Okay. There's only 4 of them, right?
Yeah, so there's heart eyes, there's big grin / laughing, then there's like blushy smile, and there's poor sad Band-Aid one. So, and I don't know if each time you get it, there's more of them. And the luck of the draw? There's always the 4.
That's the 4 I've ever seen.
So I'll end up putting them like pips on my little pocket things. I thought I'd put them on a collar here, but that's more likely to scratch you than when I had that little pocket there.
Right.
When I take advantage, I'm not going to use that pocket.
I'm going to have to see if maybe I can find something that's cloth or something I can put on my desk or something that I can so I can just look up and see.
Yeah. And then the rest of this are like random teas. Quite a bit of it. Like here's Fa Mulan. It's a princess collection. We got white tangerine, white monkey, citron green, blue decadence. You can actually smell the blueberry through the container.
Now these are fandom blends. That means people like me and Talia, people like us, did this.
Yeah, and I had to look up, how like this one here actually tells you high caffeine 3 minutes at 2:12. So thank you very much, whoever put that detail. Oh, it's heartfelt stitchery.
Heartfelt stitchery?
Yeah.
That's Chrissy.
Oh, okay.
Let me see.
It says it up in the top. It's hard to see because it's got that's purple.
I'm pretty sure that's Chrissy.
And then the Drink Good one, which I'm not sure. I'll have to look that up. Fa Mulan thankfully has the information for hers too. And then the rest of them are like random ones. Got Irish breakfast. I'll put it in my container for Irish breakfast. Got orange peels. You tend to mix.
I won't use it.
Okay. I have no idea what I'll do with orange peels. Oh, don't you cook sometimes with orange peels?
This is pretty good size orange peels.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I mean, we can keep this, and when we need to use orange peels, we can grind this.
Oh, okay.
Because it's fresh.
And I'll have to go through here and find the rooibos and find the chai and make sure you have those. Cause I'm not going to drink the rooibos and chai. Because I saw a couple in here with rooibos and chai, but I will be trying teas.
Is the rooibos? Is it rooibos with something?
It's like rooibos cocoa mint.
Okay, that's good. Because if it's just rooibos...
No, there aren't any just rooibos in here. And hey, this is chocolate mint. So, up your alley anyway.
And it means it's caffeine free.
Yeah, I guess it is because it's rooibos. Rooibos cocoa nibs, natural chocolate mint, flavor peppermint leaves.
It's either trace or low caffeine because there's nothing in there.
Now we might do a giveaway for the cacao powder. That might be kind of cool. We'll have to see. It's just cacao powder, but it's also free. Free's always,
I'm just trying to see if somebody answered you.
So yeah, I'll have to see if I got a message. But there's a ton of tea in here. I'm sure that you'll see them pop up as I try them, because it'll take me a while to work my way through this box. What I should try to do is maybe on the PHN Instagram take a picture when I try one.
Right.
And that might be kind of cool.
It was a really nice gift.
Yeah, so you'll either see it on my PHN Patreon or it'll be on my BookTube one, or a mixture of the both, because I have a feeling in order to keep up with some of my BookTube stuff, I might do a tea with a book to just kind of keep it interesting, because because I am doing a lot of reading right now, that might keep people it might amuse people or interest people in the group.
Right. Just what's she drinking? it's something to. I'm playing with the bubble wrap because apparently I'm 5.
So yes, that is my huge tea set. And this box is
It's full.
It's full. And yeah, it was a nice little gift. Not a little gift, big gift.
People can be really generous. This is the same group of people. We had only been there for a little while. Talia was getting ready to go to surgery, and they sent us each a community box.
Yeah.
Somebody sent us each. We never found out who.
Nope.
It was very, very nice, and they're just very generous, supportive people over there. If you haven't been to Adagio and you like tea or coffee, they have a Ladera. I think
That's why they now have coffee as well.
And they have spices for people who
and
cook.
then they have artisan teas.
Yeah. Well, master blends.
Yeah, master blends. That's what I mean.
Like that, I consider tea lovers. So what I'm saying is that tea, coffee, cooking, anybody who's involved with any of those kind of things, then Adagio is something you should probably check out.
And the only reason why it specifies because it's a separate section.
Yeah. Selfina is their spices. Ladero, Lader, I think is what it's spelled, is their coffee. They have a master's, I forget what that's called.
It's just called, I think, the master's blend.
Master blends. And then they have the Adagio main site, which is where we usually hang out most of the time.
The master blend will actually tell you what farm it's from, and it gives you an idea of the crop and all that.
It would have something like this tea that I'm telling you about from Africa, because this came from the tea that she got me from Africa when she was a missionary. She brought it back. She got it from a specific farm, a specific picking, and all that kind of stuff. So the fun thing about the Masters is I bought something there, and it was really neat because it had kind of the smell of bread,
and they make a point of telling you all these kind of things.
And it tasted, it tasted really good. I can't quite.
It's a shame you don't remember the name of it.
Well, I do, but they haven't had it up again.
Oh, okay. It's probably a certain time of year.
You know what? I can't remember, but if I look it up to see, what does that. But the point is that everything can be a little different because they'll have this crop, and this crop. And a lot of time I'll go to the crop that's least expensive because it's 2 or 3 years back.
Yeah, it's probably an older.
To try it. And then, but it can be different. Maybe even.
Well, yeah, I think it would be based off of the soil, how long it's been sitting.
Right. A whole bunch of things. Just whatever.
Because it's not processed in the same way.
Well, it might even be the process. It might be they had more sun this year, they had more water this time, the soil was more depleted, it was less depleted.
Well, what I mean is sometimes in some of the more mainstream teas, they are processed to a certain extent so you get a pretty consistent taste, but because this is more of an artisan tea, it's almost like when you have hand-dyed yarn, there's going to be more differences potentially between flavors.
Well, I don't know if artisan teas are exactly like that. I think they still have to, it's more like if you have different bases of yarn and the same dye stock, and then you have, I can make something, and if it's on one base of yarn, like wool, and the other one's on, I don't know, silk, you're going to get different colors or different types of color. Or I was listening to somebody, I forget who it was a craftsy class on dyeing yarn, and she was saying how when she moved her shop from one place to another, the pH in the water changed the way the color took on the yarn. So it's the same base, it's the same everything.
Well, that makes sense because think about when we went to the hair appointment last time, she's talking about how the dye would take differently for people based off of the water that they use, the pH in the water.
Because we were talking about my mom was upset because her hair had gone gray, which she loved, and then it went to this color she didn't like, and I think it's gone back to gray again. So maybe our hairdresser suggested maybe something the pH had changed in the water, or even maybe in her soap, or whatever.
So it might have been the reaction between the soap and the pH in the water caused this certain chemical balance in her hair that made it a certain color.
So that's more what I'm saying is the difference in the same tea as opposed to being different teas altogether.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay, that's
well, that's why I said dye a lot.
Do you have anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. We do have a Zoom on Friday.
Yes, we do.
This is a Patreon only still.
Right. It doesn't. Not until July does it start that everything is different.
And if you have any questions, you can contact Talia on Instagram.
Yeah.
You can contact me on PHN. And tag me because I don't always see it, and then I can ask Talia whatever things I'm not sure of because we're working this out as we go. But it's not changing. The only thing that's really changing is the fact that it's going to be one podcast a month one Zoom for everybody a month, free access, hopefully free access to the Patreon stuff, except if you're a paid Patreon, you'll get certain perks.
Yeah, because the Zoom is the only thing that's free for everybody from the Patreon. Then everything else that's still there will be Patreon only, plus, like we were saying, giveaways,
and
discounts, a recipe, exchange area possible. I know that recipe exchange isn't, you would have to add like links in the comments, because Patreon isn't like a forum where you can,
Right.
post it in the same way.
Right, and that's what you have to do. I mean, you might not be able to post the whole recipe. Can you do attachments?
I know that I can. I've never really posted that much in comments on Patreon.
Well, maybe when I get onto Patreon, I'll try and post an attachment, and it might just say attachment.
Yeah.
Just to see if you can do that, because then you can attach the recipe.
Yeah.
So, it's a work in progress. We're trying to give you guys the best we can give you, because we love you guys, and you guys have been fantastic with us through thick and thin for 12 years.
Yeah.
So we don't want to have the quality go down. We want to continue to have good experience with you guys.
Right, and I'm hoping that you'll actually find the quality improves. It'll be closer maybe to the level of podcast we had when we were at our heyday, where we had more progress, a little bit more energy, because we're actually acknowledging the limitations instead of trying to force a level of activity that we're just not up to anymore.
Yep. We tried. Okay. We do want to thank everybody who commented on YouTube or over at the Patreon homepage, the PHN podcast homepage. I haven't answered anybody. I have seen everybody. I just haven't had the chance, like I said, paperwork for Davina.
But we're hoping you'll start seeing more engagement
Yeah.
come July, because there'll be fewer going up, so there's going to be more time for us to respond.
Right. And I did comment more at the home group. I did comment on a few threads. So 2 threads, I think it was. I tend to go backwards, like take the last page and then go backwards. And if I, so usually I do at least get the last page. We do want to thank Renegale, Meditative Crafter, Wendy, who is MacGyver, Paula, and Kara, who all commented over on YouTube. If anybody else commented, we thank you as well, both on either on YouTube or on the podcast PHN. We thank you very, very much, and we always love to have you. Please continue to comment. Okay?
Yes. And like we mentioned in the past, if you don't have anything specific you want to say, emojis are great as well. I brought this up in a BookTube Discord for Storathon, and people are like, "Oh, that's a great idea."
Don't stop commenting, though.
Yeah, don't stop commenting. But if you can't think of anything to say, I know some people will say, I watched a video on annotating books, and they're like, if you enjoyed this video, put your favorite colored heart in the comments, which is kind of cute.
Yeah.
Some people will choose at the end of their videos, when people get to the end of the video, do like a specific emoji, so they even have an idea that the person watched all the way through, which is kind of a fun idea as well. And a lot of times you can see they're making up the emoji on the spot, which one they want to see come up, which is kind of fun. But yeah,
if you're a male, put a heart. If you're a female, put a star.
We're not actually saying that for this, but
no. I'm just goofing. No.
But yeah, I am starting to get tired.
Yeah, and I have to eat lunch. So we want to thank you all for joining us for the Fun in the Woman Cave. We hope you have a wonderful, blessed week. And for those who we see tomorrow, we'll see you then. In the meantime, we'll see you sometime next week. This is the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 606, and that's a wrap.
Bye.
God bless.
God bless.